Combination of
Sorry.
it involves a combination of elements that ensure students receive the best possible learning experience. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, you're on camera.
So maybe you noticed that our mission includes high levels of learning plus, and that plus is very important. It means that we don't just deliver instruction and then move on. That plus means we differentiate for every single kid, whether it's our highest achievers or our most struggling learners. Our teachers have committed to something, and again, when I say our teachers have committed, this has been a project that they have been right at the beginning of this work with us. We call it Core Plus, and it's every day during fifth period. We are catering to our gifted and talented students, to our students who just need a little bit of extra time, and then to our students who are multiple years behind in reading and math. And I could not be more proud of all the hard work that our teachers are putting in. And I do have to deviate from this just a little bit. Yesterday, we had some instructional coaches in from the other two high schools, and they were so impressed with what our students were working on, how our teachers were delivering instruction. Our kids were engaged. There's not a cell phone out because that's a big deal in our school. It was amazing, and it was so nice to get that high five from, from our rivals, but from the other two high school kids. I mean, maybe a little. Oh my God. It was fantastic though to hear those instructional coaches really give specific feedback and be impressed, and they felt like the work that we're doing in our Core Plus class was something they wanted to bring back to their schools too. So that was pretty exciting. We've also adopted a vision statement, and that's a statement about what we're trying to achieve as a school community. OCHS will be a top 5 high school in the state of Kentucky, and I assure you that's true. That's our vision, and I have no doubt that we will achieve that goal. We've got fantastic families, we have excellent teachers, and a supportive community. And the support we receive from organizations like the Rotary Club is invaluable in us achieving our mission and our vision. I've got to say also that the support from the district is incredible. The facilities upgrades that we're getting have created a positive buzz for our students. And the upgrades are a testament to the district's commitment to providing the best possible educational experience for our students. We believe that top-notch facilities allow for students to experience everything that's wonderful about high school. So I encourage you to continue working hand in hand with us as we strive to nurture the next generation of leaders, thinkers, and change makers. Together, we can empower our youth with the knowledge, skills, and values needed to build a brighter tomorrow in Oldham County. Thank you so much for your unwavering support, and I look forward to our continued collaboration in the service of our community and its future leaders. Thank you all. That being said, I love to talk about Oldham County High School. I'm happy to take questions if you have any, and I'll address them to my best.
So I love the goal, top 5 high school in the state
Absolutely.
of Kentucky.
Yes, sir.
How do they score that?
Great question. There's different metrics used. One is our overall, like the academic performance on the state assessment test, on the ACT, on our AP test too. And y'all, if you don't know this, you're turning out some great AP scores at Oldham County. Our kids take that very seriously. Another metric is what the kids do after high school. Whether it doesn't have to be college, whether it's college, the career pathway, there's benchmarks for college and career readiness that our kids meet. We're improving that each year too. We also are measuring now the progress and support of our English language learners to make sure that they get the support that they need to be successful in our community. The percentage of kids that graduate from high school. Our attendance rate is factored into that. The overall culture and climate of the school, and that's definitely an area that we focus on. Can I elaborate?
I'll keep going. I mean, how do you score culture and climate of a school?
That's a great question. Perception surveys. The state is really good about sending out surveys for our families, for our students, for teachers, and it really kind of takes the pulse, takes the temperature of how we're feeling about our school. Another survey that was provided last year was from the Studer survey. That was another example of giving feedback, and so we can again gauge to see where we are in terms of what kids need, what teachers need, what families expect from us. Yeah, and the rest of it's all pretty much metrics. I mean, it's percentages. We're coming up there fast.
Where are we now?
Well, it depends on the state of Kentucky has kind of gone away from rank ordering schools. The closest we have right now is the USA Today. They rank us. We are ranked, I believe, 11 or 12. I think it's 11 or 12. The other two schools are a little bit higher. I picked top 5 for a reason. Can I say that quickly here?
Yeah. Which actually goes along with that. Oldham County has historically picked up the lower income portion of the county. So how do you compete with, and this is no offense to those in Crestwood or Goshen, who have the higher economic area without that lower income demographic and minorities? How's Oldham County compete with that, or is there a way to balance that out in the testing?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good question. I appreciate you asking that. We can compete with that. It's gonna look a little bit different. Maybe, we'll have a larger population of students who do not want to attend college, and there's nothing wrong with that. Lots of great career opportunities for our students without college education, the trades pathways, all the PTE work that we're building and growing. Lots of ways for us to compete. So that's a metric to that college and career readiness. We can hang with everybody on AP stuff. Like our kids that are taking the AP classes, they do well. They take it very seriously. I love, one of my very favorite things about Oldham County High School is we are the most diverse of the schools. We've got all kinds of different types of kids, and our kids, they benefit from that. They grow from that because they get to experience different people from, they may not otherwise encounter in life. So I think it's an asset. It's absolutely not something that will hold us back. Yes, sir.
Could you talk a little bit about the high school's relationship with the school?
Sure. The Arvin Center is an awesome addition to our kids' high school experience. So the kids will take their like core classes with us, and then they can come over here to take, the bioengineering, the medical, they've got so many opportunities. So this enhances what we've got going on at OC. Our hope is to continue to grow the number of pathways that we offer. For example, I really want to go big with media arts. I think sometimes, for whatever reason, I've lived here for 3 years, so I don't have the history that you guys probably have. But I feel like maybe sometimes OC gets a little bit of I don't know, we need to improve our perception sometimes in the community. And so I think one great way for us to do that is to really, I'm telling you, come into the school, you'll be impressed. It is a great, we're not perfect, we don't pretend to be, but there's a lot of good things going on. So the more that we can broadcast it, get that out into the community, I think we can improve that perception. So for example, the media arts, it could be where we start the pathway for the first couple of classes, media arts in my building, and then the kids come over here to have different opportunities to kind of finish out that pathway. So it's a really good partnership. It's a great partnership we have. Yeah.
How do you identify or encourage to be part of this school?
This has a great reputation. Our students, we obviously market, we showcase, we go through all the different opportunities that they have here, but they already know. The Arvin is a well perceived place. Am I answering your question? Yes, sir.
I will say this, John, when parents of 8th graders have meetings and they learn about the Arvin Center while the kids are still in 8th grade. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, sir.
So there's a good way for parents and kids to learn about Arvin Center before they get to high school.
Well, I'm all for it because I've got a granddaughter that goes here, so
I certainly understand.
Hey, Madeline,
Yes,
we
sir.
hear about all the sports. What are the other cool things that are going on in OC other than just sports?
Okay, we have so much cool stuff going on. Obviously we all I'm a gigantic sports fan, but let me just tell you about our band, our choir, and our theater. They are phenomenal. I'm so impressed with all the different things they do. And one thing that I'll make sure I advertise more broadly this year is right before the holiday break, we did a theater showcase. It was more than just a theater. We had our band, our choir, and the theater all do a collective presentation. So we brought the whole school together in our gym and just spotlighted these kids that don't typically get that much attention. And it was, I have goosebumps just talking about it right now. I mean, the whole gym was singing Jingle Bells together. It was fantastic. Our kids were highly engaged, entertained, over an hour of just different choir performances. The theater kids, they wrote their own play to perform kind of in increments throughout the presentation. It was really good. And of course, like to spoil that, Santa Claus was hijacked by the South Oldham Dragon. So that was a big finale to our little play. All the different groups are just such a huge part of what we're doing at OC. I'm trying to think what other big groups we have. That's those three right now. Art is doing a lot of different things. Our art club is growing and expanding. Our EL population, they're getting a lot of support and love, and they are going to do different things in the community that they haven't been able to do before. Those are probably the biggest things we've got. It's like
I haven't heard much about debate. You still have to-
debate, not currently. We don't currently offer debate, but that's something I would love to bring back. But our scheduling constraints made that one a little bit difficult.
Natalie.
Yes.
It's program.
Yes, of course, absolutely. That's a big part. I can't fail to talk about that. Yeah, our ag program is the kids are very interested in the ag program. They like the different pieces of it too. The growing the flowers part and then the farm machinery part. They like both parts of that. Actually, what we plan to do in this year is to expand that program. There's actually a welding certification that our students can get through the ag program. So without even adding an additional pathway, we can offer that to our kids now. And so thankfully our ag teacher is on board with that. That's something that he's excited about, and I think it'll be great for our kids.
I think that's one thing that sets you apart with our schools.
Yeah.
It's really important.
It is important. That's what it is.
How are things on the staffing side? You hear everybody's always looking for teachers, whether it's in the sciences or the computer side. So how are you doing on staffing? What are you looking for?
Well, we must be living right in some way. Staffing is great for us. Like we picked up some amazing teachers, especially in math. Our art teachers knew some really young teachers who are fully certified, but like eager and just ready to they're little sponges picking up information to start teaching. We have a physics opening. Science teachers are tough. So if you know someone that's interested in teaching physics, please send them our way. But overall, our staffing was good. Our ECS population, the special education students, they deserve everything that we've got. And so we still have a position there that we need to fill. But really, we're looking pretty good and with quality teachers. These aren't just Johnny off the street. These are fully certified folks. Yes, sir.
Okay, Dr. Brown, I'll give you a little bit of history about
Sure.
because, I was born and raised here in this county. The first year that Oldham County High School, the Oldham County High School was 1953, the same year I was born.
Wow.
And so my wife, myself, all three of my adult kids and all 5 of my grandkids will graduate from the Oldham County High School.
I like it. I'm adopt that. I love that. Other questions? Yes, sir.
I heard from some guy named Dr. Radford that the number of substitute teachers that you entered the year is greatly increased compared to previous years, helping you to fill some of the needs. Is that true for?
2. Or 2. I don't know if that's greatly increased. Well, for the physics spot, we've got, and he's a retired administrator. He's a long time teacher.
Blaze talking about overall, like district.
Oh, district-wide?
Yeah, district. So have you seen an increase of substitute teachers in general? Have you seen that, being able to have more
Fill
subs?
spots.
Or so, from last year to this, I'm sorry, thank you. I don't know what on the answer there. Yes, we have been much more able to get subs. Wilson has been really good stuff for us, and I appreciate all you do for us every day. We've had lots of stuff before. Because I'm telling you, that's tough on teachers. When you don't have enough subs, what happens is, and the leadership starts, like we cover classes first. But after we're exhausted or dealing with the situation, then we have to go to teachers and ask them to cover classes. And that's hard when you're teaching all day you count on that chunk of time that you get to plan the grade papers, to get ready for the next day. And to lose that is tough. So that's been somewhat diminished so far this year, and I hope that's true.
I don't mean to take up all the questions.
You're fine.
So you have your AP classes, but then you have this group, this is what I don't understand. You got the AP classes where they can get the college credits if they take the test and score something up. But then you got some that are heading to Carrollton or.
Dual
is that
credit.
Dual credit. You gotta
Okay,
dual credit.
explain the differences and why one would choose one over the other.
That's a great question. You were like, well, really good question. So you can ask how you want.
Well, my kids already went through there, but it's
Yeah.
changed a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, they do. They serve two totally different purposes. A lot of the more prestigious colleges, like if you're headed to like a Yale or Harvard, they're gonna be a little more interested in those AP courses. They're gonna be less likely to be as excited about the dual credit. However, for a lot of our students headed to U of L, UK, the major universities, that dual credit is, as long as you do the work and you're doing what you need to in the semesters, you're gonna earn that credit. So there's no risk of, working hard all year and then getting a 2 on the AP test. If you've done the work throughout the semester, that professor will give you the credit. So, I mean, that's an awesome opportunity, and it's a fraction of the cost of college. I mean, it is a phenomenal opportunity for our kids, but they are different.
The other thing that's interesting about AP, you can get a 4 on AP and UK might accept it, but Center won't accept it. Hey. They'll accept it and the other ones, but another, or even like at Center and some of those other schools, the prestigious schools, they'll make you retake the course even though you got a 5 because they want to do a cohort of kids, and the kids have to follow that cohort through 4 years, and so they'll count it as elective only. So you got to double dip. In the dual credit, it's guaranteed in what's called the core along Kentucky schools, that JCTC, Carrollton, whatever, and U of L, UK, Western, Eastern, Moorhead, Murray will take those 4 classes as long as you get a C or better. And so it really does kind of depend on what you get.
What about Center?
Who knows what the hell they do? Ask Ray.
COVID kids, like, can you tell who's coming up and they're COVID kids?
Well, the way that what I see that's different is last year, the COVID, we still had a fresher feel, like our kids still, they weren't that excited about some of the fun things that we did. They did, pep rallies are a big deal in our school. And they did a great job, but it wasn't, you could tell that the socialization, they just didn't understand the things that we all took for granted in our high school experience. These kids didn't really connect with that. So I noticed this year, there are a lot more smiles, to be honest, and other folks have noticed that too. They're really more excited about the dress up days, the games on Friday night, more excitement around that. And I think as the further we get from COVID, the stronger that is. We're getting back to that, high school feel.
I remember my kid, he really, social with COVID, it really affected him. He was a totally different child when, he came back. And it took, last year, he was ready to, can I just work from home, can I work from home? And finally, starting back. So, socialization and talking to people and, so I can't imagine what you all are doing with that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, we're definitely doing so much more. And my son was a junior when COVID happened, and it was rough on him too, my little one. Yes, sir.
Dr. Brad, one thing that, we probably all agree that Catholic schools or private schools do better than public schools in general is alumni engagement, fundraising with alumni. Are there any efforts at Old County High School or in the district to better reach out to alumni that are far and wide? We've got great achievers all throughout the state, all throughout the country. That could probably be capped.
Absolutely.
How do you do that sometimes? How do you get off? How do do that?
I think that's really important. My stepson actually graduated from St. X. And so I do see that. And as someone who spent a lot of time at Male High School, their alumni group was strong. That is definitely a need that we have, because I've met so many people who graduated from Owen County who want to be a part of it. Just a few weeks ago, the class of 1983, we met, Dr. Hamilton and I met at the school and gave them a tour. And so many of them wanted to reach out and be part of it. So I definitely think that's something to tap and grow, because this is an awesome community. I can't tell you how happy I am to be here. I loved my time in Louisville. It was a great place to grow up. Man, I wouldn't go back. This is a great spot out here. I love our community.
So something I heard about some years ago was just that a huge gap or need with students coming out of schools was a lack of creative leadership in kids, meaning that they just don't, as adults or in the workforce, they're not transitioning to the ability to be leaders, to troubleshoot, to kind of have that confidence, that skill. And like a lot of them are more, I don't know what the word would be, but they're not as engaged as you'd expect people to be who've been, at a younger age, kind of forced to do more things, take on more adult roles. So is that something that is still an issue, do you think, or do you hear that? Like,
it is. I feel like I could have paid you to ask me that question. Thank you. What we're doing, yeah, absolutely. It's not just something that you're picking up on. It's something that corporations are noticing too. It's definitely a missing skill for our kids, how to collaborate, and COVID probably contributes to that even more. So we were tasked with some deeper learning opportunities in our early release days this year. And the first one that we tackled, we call it Challenge to Change, and we targeted just that type of leadership. We had the kids in their advisory groups. That's, they've got it's kind of like a homeroom is what I would have called it when I went to school. But in our homeroom groups, those kids, they had to work together to analyze the data from our student survey and kind of look, what are the main things that we complained about as students when we think about Oldham County High School? They talked about, they didn't feel like their school was clean and it was clean. They felt like sometimes they didn't like going to school. Sometimes they felt like other kids were mean. So there were several things. So the kids had to work together collaboratively and figure out, okay, what do we care about the most as a group? So they picked different roles in the group. They had to create a proposal, have that submitted, get feedback on it. And then they were tasked with building a team. So our kids got leadership opportunities. We've got a set of kids who are always in everything. But what we did here is we expanded those opportunities for all of our kids to be leaders. And so they each had different roles in the project. It was awesome. It was a really good opportunity. I'm so glad that we were tasked with something, because it is missing, and it's something that the kids loved and we want to go back to. We want to do more of that.
Well, I just wonder if this big focus, like your goal of top 5 is lofty, and everybody loves to post on Facebook that South and North are in the top 5, and to me,
like 7 and 8.
Oh, sorry, 7 and 8, whatever. I have my 3rd kid that's gonna graduate this year. I bought into that, whatever thing about AP classes when I was there. But now I just feel like it's so low priority in my mind as a parent. Like what Tim said to me is so much more important for our kids to be doing. And I was just the question that's coming to my mind is you've got to deal with that PR of let's make sure we have this high ranking. But I know that a lot of teachers, that's not really where the real learning is happening and what affects kids in the long term, balancing that out. And we know we need more kids in the trades, and that needs to be valued more in all these different things. And this huge focus on AP to me seems like it's not really where it's at.
Okay. I can see your point, but I would add to that, and this is one of the things that I love about our school is we've got so many different types of kids with so many different needs. We definitely have a core group of children who they want AP that matters to them. They take it serious. And our teachers that teach those kids do a great job with that. And our scores are a testament to that. But then we also have the leadership opportunities. We also have great, extracurricular activities with clubs, sports, lots of different things there. So I think that the need is spread. And kids kind of gravitate to what they need. We've got, the AP kids, we've got the ag kids, we have all the different kids in the middle who do get what they need. Opportunities for us to grow them as leaders all across the board. I want to increase that too. But I don't think that the AP focus is a bad thing, because we've got something that's they want to do. I don't know if that totally answers your question, but I do feel like as we're expanding our CTE pathways as we are, broadening our relationship with JCTC and that dual credit
Yeah, it's great.
pathway. Oh my gosh, it is fantastic. And
I
I mean,
feel like nationally, there's like a lot of pressure on these AP rankings.
it's a factor.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And is that really the essential element of educating our kids? Like,
No, I see
you know what I mean?
Yes.
I hate that you guys feel all that pressure. Like, I'd rather just set the ground level.
Well, number one, you have to know that I'm just competitive and I'm happily silly. Like, that's, I can't help it. Like, that's in my blood. I'm sorry. But that's very self-sufficient. That's not me like forcing AP down kids' throat. That's not me like, that's on autopilot. Those kids want to be in there and that's just what they do. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah, I
not,
was
it doesn't
one
like
of those
divert
kids.
our resources from our bigger overall plan.
I don't.
One more question.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
We can talk about that.
One more. Anybody? If not, Al, would you?
Would love to. I think you'll agree with me that Natalie's a real straight shooter. She answers those questions straight up. No smoke screens, no beating around the bush. Really appreciate that. And we want to thank you for being one of our speakers, being our speaker today. And we will donate $25 in your name to the eradication of polio through Polio Plus, our Rotary focus to try to defeat polio. And we would like you to have this coin as a gesture. It has a 4-way test on it, and our way of saying thank you for being here today. We appreciate it.
Oh, wait, before you do this, I just want to put a plug in for the job that Dr. Brown is doing in Oldham County High School. I love the Oldham County High School because it is a diversified population and they are working hard to meet the needs of every single kid there. AP, kids who want to take advanced placement classes are a critical component of that school, just as agriculture and all of the other things she is doing. And all of those things work together to move the level of the rating for the high school. It doesn't just revolve around however many kids are taking advanced placement or however many are taking dual credit. It all goes together to make that an outstanding high school. So I thank you for the job.
The birthday song, so we can take a moment.
Oh, man.
Happy birthday
To you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Steve. Happy birthday to you.
Let's finish off the meeting in just a moment with the split the pot, but we have someone we have not properly introduced to the club. Kelly Woods, if you would please come forward. She doesn't have her name tag.
Oh.
She doesn't have her pin. She's a part of that amazing group of Oldham County Extension Office people that Hope brought in. And so we're so glad we have a folder here full of all kinds of Rotary propaganda. We expect you to have read it by next week.
Okay.
Yes.
Rotary
Facts.
Rotary
Right.
facts.
Fun fact.
Facts. Rotary facts. My mistake.
Fun fact, Tracy gave me her. So I've been reading.
All right. So there you go, Kelly. It's good to have you.
Okay. Spinning the wheel here and who would like to spin and did not buy a ticket?
You spin.
I'll
Go,
spin.
Jason.
You please do,
Oh.
They'll let me retry it.
Yeah. You're right, I'm just trying to.
Don't forget about the board meeting after the meeting.
Right, we didn't pull out yet, so it's not close. All right, here we go, everybody.
Right.
975. Jane Ashley. Let's try.
$187.
Maybe.
It's a plane ticket to Paris.
Oh, no, it wasn't Al.
Congratulations. This will wrap up our meeting today. If we have, all the board members, we have a meeting afterwards, so let's go and be dismissed and we're next place.
Oh, yeah, you got for you. Wow.
I apologize appropriately.
Administrators don't show in classes. I think administrators should hold their CDL.
This one. No way, this one gets distracted and off you go down the I wouldn't
Right
mind.
now, the 53 or the 22, I mean, the roads are so wide with the one.
Oh, yeah. No, I wouldn't advocate for anybody to run ever again. Yes, like on a familiar path. That's why we.
I've been good. Tell your uniform schools that November 2nd, I own those schools.
Good. Appreciate all you do. All right, sir. Thank you.
I just want to know what day I should.
Really matters. You're not a guest.
And then see what I can do.
It's really good.
Well, and I'll send a note out too.
What will you, if you can spread it all out, then I can.
Well, that's what I've.
I know it.
So what I do, I just say, okay, I'm gonna do something better than I'm so I just.
What kind of days are we talking about?
Well, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21st. So the 24th, if anyone signs up that day, I'm gonna move that because I'm,
Yes.
the convention center has been about 20, but it doesn't.
Which day? I
So the
can't,
other
I'm
day
no
is
good there, 17, 18. I just wanna know what day I can pick, my.
Well, and I think Tuesday, Wednesday, in the morning. Yeah.
I'm just gonna pick up those.
You signed up for the 19th.
19. Okay.
So one with help and one.
19.
Yep.
That's what I.
Yep. And really, hope.
It's getting it on. Well, I'm gonna. But how many people are holding that way?
That's what I'm saying.
All right, I'm putting that down. And so like, how many dozen?
Oh, okay.
That's it. That's it.
Same thing for like,
Well, you can tell me when I need to, I don't remember the night.
19th, you deliver that, I'm gonna move the other ones around.
Oh, thanks.
I gave Robin 100 of it. It was high, and I took care of my 100.
Yeah, that was an easy one, right? We're counting on that, so.